And then you know, like 3 minutes public comment after the meeting. I would give a prayer of action. Coach Chief, do please. Like always, you look terrible stuff going on around the world. United States and Paris as well. We got fire, we got flood, we got senseless killing. There's so much going on. Now we're take a moment of silence just for the country. Because we all part of this country. Thank you. The whole lot of prayer. The great Father, we come to prayer to thank you. Thank you for all the blessings you have given us. Realize that we don't want to cut down a couple of things. Not be remiss not to thank you for your son Jesus. Not to say possible. Father, I pray for the children. He was willful, not understanding things that are fair. I pray for his European and friends as well. I pray for each constituent in your family. Realize that you know maybe more about it all. I pray for this country. I pray for the state. I pray for the parish. I pray for the town and the community. I pray for the youth of the out for the summer. We realize a lot of children things go on. We realize that you are in control. And always allow us to. And Father, I pray for the others. I pray for them. I pray for you, Christ. I just pray, Father, that you come with Father and bring peace and confidence to this world. Because Father, we need some leadership. We need more high. And Father, I make everything we can hear. We need mouth. With all the praise, all the praise. In Jesus' name, I pray.
Amen. Bless the Lord. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Coach. Feliciana, please call the roll.
Mr. Dexter Armstead,
Present.
Mrs. Kristen Chastain,
Here.
Mr. Michael Cheatham,
Present.
Mr. Kyle Flanagan,
Here.
Mr. Jason McCray, Mr. Keith Mills is absent, Mr. Richard Oliver,
Here.
Dr. Christy O'Quinn,
Here.
President Lewis Kent.
Present. Thank you, Sarah. I need one to approve the agenda with two additions. The 2023 audit presentation, Cola, Slaver, and Company. The 2020 audit engagement letter, Cola, Slaver, and Company.
Somebody.
Moved by Dr. Quinn. Second by Mr. McCray. Any discussion? Question from the audience? Not all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. First order of business, old business. Adopting minutes for the May 20th, 24 regular meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Question from the audience? Not all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next on the agenda, adopting minutes from the June 3rd, 2024 public hearing.
Move the motion.
With my Mr. Armstead. Second by Coach Chief. Any discussion? Question from the audience? Any all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next on the agenda, adopting minutes from the June 3rd, 2024 regular meeting. Anybody ready?
I read over this page, I can see the strips, I move to accept.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Question from the audience? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, go ahead and take the additions now. The 2023 audit presentation.
Good evening. My name is Matthew Murdaglin. I'm the partner in charge of the audit. When I got here this evening, I handed out a presentation packet that's got some information, a brief summary of the audit report. We're going to go through that today. presentation packet, we talk about a summary of the financial report. The report includes our independent auditor's report on the financial statement, our report on internal controls, compliance, and other matters, and the financial information that's that of the juries. The reports that we issue talk about management's responsibilities for the financial statements, the underlying internal controls, compliance, and preventing and detecting fraud. It also describes our responsibilities for performing the audit, obtaining an understanding of how your operations work, looking at certain compliances, certain internal controls, and the ultimate objective is to express an opinion on the financial statements. The results of our audit is that we were able to issue an unmodified opinion or clean opinion on the set of financial statements. So the users of the financial packet is going to be able to rely on the accuracy of the information that's in there when they're making their decisions, whether it's grantors, bondholders, things like that. We did have one instance of non-compliance that we need to bring to your attention that related to budgets. As y'all are aware, you adopt the budget and amend the budget. Whenever there is a 5% variance in the budget process, it needs to come back for amendment. In this instance, y'all did do the amendments, but didn't achieve that 5% by the time we finalized all of the numbers. So the budget didn't achieve the budgetary goal related to financial statements.
I have one question before you move.
Yes, sir.
This is the thing to bring up. What is the time frame within that particular period? As we say, we have that, we get that 5%, I can come back and is there a time, without days and minutes that we need to reconcile that?
So the way that it works, y'all can amend the budget throughout the entire year. Anytime that you're aware of the 5% or anytime that you're aware of a potential risk, you're gonna get a new grant or things like that. So it's throughout the entire year. Y'all's fiscal year end is December 31st. There's typically an amendment process right near the very end of the year, usually in the November, December timeframe. You have up until December 31st to make any final amendments. There are two instances of internal control issues that we wanted to bring to y'all's attention. One of these is the application of GAAP. What that means is GAAP is generally accepted accounting principles. We assist the jury in putting together the financial packet that y'all receive by email. It's about 150 pages, financial data, no disclosures, and that follows strict rules and regulations. Our assistance with putting that all together and not having the numbers from when we got them in prelim, we made some adjustments to get it to this point, is why that we have to write that finding. It's actually a professional requirement on our side. It says if we assist y'all substantially in putting together this packet, we just have to let the readers know, hey, the auditor's helped with this. It's a way for us to maintain our independence and all. The other issue that we had was inadequate policies and procedures. We look at y'all's policies and procedures as we are testing various deposits, bank reconciliations, credit cards, disbursements, everything along that way. And while y'all do have policies and procedures, there were some of those areas where there was either inconsistency in what the policy said and what was being done, or the policy wasn't clear on how the process was supposed to flow. The other component to that is the legislative auditors are now mandating certain elements be included in your policies and procedures, and not all of those were obtained. So due to those deficiencies that are coming really from the legislative auditor's office, we wanted to bring it to everybody's attention so that y'all knew that the policy and procedures need to be evaluated to determine if you need to make enhancements or how to comply with your policies and procedures. Those are the findings that we came across during our scope of work. If we want to flip to page 2 of the graphics, this is a chart. It should look like this. This is your total governmental revenues and expenses for the entire year. This is all of your funds, all of your departments, everything else. In 2023, your total revenue was about $10.4 million. Your total expenditures was about $9.2 million. Both of those numbers are down from the prior year, primarily due to timing of the grants. You had a lot of the FEMA recovery and a lot of the revenue recognized in the prior years. That stuff did not happen in the current year, so that's why your numbers are down. If we flip over to page 3 of the packet, this shows the key elements of where you got your money from. Sales tax took in about $5.1 million. Your property taxes took in about $2.1 million. Your state sources was almost $2 million, and everything else rounded out to $5 million. And you can see the big dip there in the federal sources from $4 million in the prior year down to $200 in the current year. If we go go on to page 4. No questions?
So that federal sources, do they have, quite sure that would be something affected with us not being in compliance with that?
No.
Us not using the money, okay. That's
No,
what
the federal sources issue and the findings that we have should not have an impact on anything. The federal sources, let's hope you never get that money again, because it was due to FEMA disasters.
So sure, gotcha.
We don't want that money.
For sure.
I mean, if it happens, we want it, but we don't want the disaster.
Makes sense, thank you.
On page 4, this is some of the key areas of where you spent your money. Some of the key areas, sanitation, made up about 29% of all those expenditures. Your public works was another 21%, capital outlay and public safety being the other 14 and 13%, rounding out the key numbers that just spent your money on. And we've given you 4 years of historical just for your information.
Sanitation would be our garbage truck.
Yes. If we look at page 5, this is a summary of just your general fund. So as y'all know, you have your general fund that kind of is the catch-all. It's your unrestricted source of funding. You have some other sources that you're only allowed to do what the taxpayers have told you can do, what grant source told you can do, and that's what we've covered already. Now we've just carved out your revenues, expenses for your general fund, because that's what makes up any deficits that are anywhere else. That's where you have the most flexibility on choosing how to spend your money. This year, y'all took in about almost $3.3 million. That's up from the $2.8 million you received in the prior year. One of the biggest increases in this number is about $300,000 of extra property tax money. Talking with y'all, talking with the school board, some barges moved up the river and are now stationed here, so y'all are collecting property tax money on that. It's our understanding that that's probably going to be around for a while, which is a big thing for the parish. Your total expenditures relatively flat at about $2.8 million. So having that extra source of revenue is going to be good, and we'll see why in just a second on the final graph. Page 6 is your cash on hand in the general fund. What we see here in 2023, your cash in just the general fund was about $600,000. We look at average daily expenditures, right in the neighborhood of $7,700 per day is what you spend to operate the general fund. That doesn't include capital expenditures and things of that nature. That gives you approximately 78 days of cash on hand. So if no money comes in for a period of time, you can operate for about 78 days just in your general fund. That's not a bad position to be in, but we would like to see the rule of thumb somewhere in the 90 to 180 day time frame for a couple of reasons. One, you may have to supplement the other funds should that money not come in. In other words, to pay payroll, to pay some of the bills and whatnot. The general fund can make those payments in the short term. You need to have cash reserves for that. The other thing is 90 days, if you're talking about money that could come down from the state of Louisiana, delayed 90 days is highly probable. We see that happening with a lot of federal grants, so if you do run into that disaster, you will be floating the money to fix things until the federal government kicks in. We've seen some other instances where some property tax, sales tax and whatnot have been delayed due to, not in this parish, but in some of the other parishes that we work with, hacking on their systems, they shut down infrastructure networks. That's becoming much more common with the technology that we're dealing with today. And all of that could result in delays in y'all getting your funding. That's why a rule of thumb is that you have anywhere from 90 to 100 days cash on hand in your general fund to cover you in the event of those emergencies. That's a very brief summary of where the financials are in the reporting packet that we've got. If there were any additional questions, I can try to answer them at this time.
How much did you say we really need to have in our general fund?
Your general fund cash will be 90 to 180 days of operations.
Which is,
Y'all spend, I can do the math for you real quick, y'all spend roughly 77.
92,000?
Didn't see it's about 7,000 for the.
7,000 a day times 6.
Oh, for the day. Yeah, I know you do way more than that. I was thinking about for the month.
He said 78 is very, six to 90, when you cash over it now.
So really somewhere in the $1 million neighborhood,
Right.
just a quick ballpark, would put you in a much more comfortable position.
Okay, $600,000, six to 78.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think we will, we got money coming in, we got coming in, once that money come in, we should bless it. for the whole.
Thank you very much.
I did have one question.
One question, please.
Real quick. So you're talking about the barges, I was just going back to some math here, just went back to 2022. So those barges, here, that particular time, we were on those.
To my knowledge.
See, that's what I said, so what did we do, just said, they say, move out tomorrow, we want to make sure we're in a position that we stay in the black and not get ahead of ourselves spending money that we may not have in the future, so what do we do? Can you give us some kind of leeway moving forward, what we should do with those barges, and you know what, we leave tomorrow?
Well, what we're seeing right now at the end of the year is y'all are not spending that revenue yet. So if you continue operating at your current expenses and lose that 300,000, you'll be very close to breakeven in your general fund.
That's why.
So just quick math on that, you drop down to about 3 million in revenue, give or take some timing. You've got 2.9 in expenditures, it's $100,000 variance. It's not a lot of wiggle room,
That's true.
but y'all would be close to breakeven should those.
This is from 2022, I get about 126,000 varies between here and there, so that's what I wanted to ask, just in case we.
Yeah, and you're gonna see.
Get to the process of one, trying to spend over the barges, and hey, let's go get this,
Right.
and get this, and they pull out, you know.
And you're gonna see your general fund kind of is gonna ebb and flow sometimes with revenues being higher one year and then you go and spend it the next year on projects. When you have a good surplus, you wanna spend some of it, you wanna reserve some of it. So that's why we kind of see the zigzag pattern on that general fund.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We are pretty good, but we need to do better.
That's for sure.
And another thing, with our millage being as low as it is, other companies want to come down south here. I mean, put out, you don't have a railroad or board in the past, we down south for the cover of our business. And more do want to come, as long as our millage stay the same. And if we want to raise our millage, we might say bye-bye. But right now, we want to lower it in the state. That's why they're down south. Next up is the audit and data. I think you did a good job, we call it pre-filing, so we have to prove on those things. We gotta get them numbers. No one is perfect, I promise. We're liable to get there.
I make a motion that we,
Sorry.
yes, accept their engagement letter.
Any discussion? Question from the audience? None, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Move ahead, y'all have a good evening.
You have to be careful, thank you again. Okay, move on. New business. Take action on the following move to use the ordinance section 10-7 to illustrating enumeration of units. Mr. Phillips. We have a public hearing. We have no input from the public, opposing or supporting.
I'd like to make the motion to adopt it with the amendments and changes that were made.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Question from the audience? None in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next on the agenda, Village of Wilson Gold Precinct, Juror Jason McCray.
I placed this on the agenda some time ago, about 2 years ago. The voting precinct in Wilson was moved to Norwood. We had a problem with, where the voting machines were set up, in the food bank and was causing some conflicts of, the voting precinct was moved to Norwood. And what we're doing is now, we've come back, we built a, addition onto the fire station, and everything has been passed, everything is good, everything has been followed in compliance. And we want to bring our voting precinct 12A back to Wilson. And I want to bring that before the jury in the form of a motion.
With the moving of the precinct, it causes a hardship on the people of Wilson. Most of them can walk to the precinct and vote. It's just, this happens, a lot of people don't vote at all. We have no transportation to get to the voting precinct and all. But I think it behooves us to move the precinct back to Wilson, so people can walk to vote. We're not trying to suppress voting, we're trying to increase voting in the parish and the state.
And Mr. Gar, clerk of the court had no problem.
No, I'm doing it. He's good.
sent a new one about 5 o'clock. So it has a new address in there. I think it's
Okay.
6527 Sycamore Street.
Okay, so that's the last one you sent?
It is.
Okay.
And this is actually a resolution
Yeah.
for the jury to decide on, you vote on it, accept it. We'll send it to the Secretary of State and they have to do an accessibility study. So as soon as you do it tonight, we can send it over there to them tomorrow.
So this is to adopt the resolution.
Yeah.
And Jeff, for your information, Sam, he's already gone over there and inspected everything, so, I mean, they got the parking spots. I think it's what, you need some 35 or 40 different questions you got to fill out. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
So the one was waiting for the, any question from the audience? Is that all in favor? In opposed?
On Mississippi. Motion to adopt the resolution.
Yeah, Dr. Rivers.
That's been asked to be removed.
No.
Oh, it's back again.
Back on.
It's been a confusing day.
Okay.
Fifty nine, please.
Faith Town, but I'm representing, Representative Roy Darrell Adams. I tried to get this moved because the ladies couldn't come. I said I'll move it for 2 weeks. Barbara called, she said, well, we don't know if it can come in 2 weeks, go with it. Representative Adams says at an airport meeting, he's trying to get here, but I don't know if he will. The 2 ladies on the agenda are sister-in-laws. The second lady's name is wrong, it's not Brenda, it's Glinda, Glinda. But anyway, Barbara Morrow called us with a concern. She lives on the Speck Garrett Road. The bridge has been closed since 2018. For her to get to her house, she has to go 6 miles out of her way. She has to go into Mississippi to get home. So she called us. We went out there. She said, when you get to the bridge, call me. So we did. It took her about 10 minutes. We weren't even at the right bridge. There's a little bitty bridge before the closed bridge. She was shocked when she got there. She said, this used to be an asphalt bridge. Well, now it's a gravel road. The gravel has washed out. It's big old mud puddles. I was afraid to go through it. She said, no, you have to follow me. And I told Adam, I said, boy, if she stops or slows down, AAA will never find us. So we got to the real bridge. It's assumed barricades were put up in 2018, one on each side. The people are tired of it, so they've moved the barricades. And they're using the bridge with 3-wheelers and 4-wheelers to come out to get supplies so they don't have to go to Mississippi. This is a dangerous situation. There's a whole plank missing out of the bottom of the bridge. They've patched it with plywood, and the railings are missing. I mean, this is an accident waiting to happen. I know we're not talking about a big community here, but you know, what's the value of one life? If Miss Morrow's house catches on fire, or she has a heart attack, the GPS, the emergency vehicles would never find her. So, and I'm real concerned about the condition of these bridges, and I realize these people are trespassing, but they are using that bridge. They've moved the barricades. So while we were there, Representative Adams called Mr. Kent, and I overheard the conversation and asked him to tell me again today. Mr. Kent said they're going to put a culvert in that bridge. But when? It's been 6 years. These people have waited.
Mr. Hill's the red light, red, yes, I'm understanding. That's big, Jerry.
Yeah. Okay.
Gary, DPW Director. That used to be a timber bridge. We took it out and put a culvert in. The long span bridge, the 4-span bridge, we can't put culverts in. It's too wide. Last year, me, Yamisha, and Ms. Gwen was trying to get it on the bridge replacement. Because of the land, it did not qualify. We got an estimate on the bridge. It was $594,000 to replace. That's when we brought it to y'all. But at the same time, DOTD closed the bridge needs to stay closed because it is heavily indicated, the piles are bad, the caps are bad, and the deck is bad. So,
You put barricades.
I will send a crew back up there to put them up.
Put that up.
They do not need to cross that bridge.
People move, Mississippi.
Oh, yeah.
Just make sure if I say you put our liabilities to make certain signs and everything up.
Haven't we taken the planks off?
I was gonna say that we've taken the deck boards off in my district.
To indicate the risk, put the machine on there to remove those plants.
So it's in really bad shape.
It's in really bad shape.
Can't even put the machine in the table.
No, ma'am.
house, there's two houses back there, a few camps back there.
Not to mention right there, the approach is collapsing. So it's dropped below the bridge. So I wouldn't allow any.
Barricades aren't gonna stop anybody.
I mean, it was barricaded when I went out there.
Yes, sir.
Do
Yes,
we
sir.
have concrete barricades or just?
It doesn't matter.
They're still-
Even when we put the concretes plus the upright barricades, they take the four-wheelers and move them around. But the bridge needs to remain
Put a
closed.
low water crossing go there like the one we put in on Indian Road.
It's not gonna hold, but hey, if y'all wanna put it on,
I'm just
that's.
asking, I don't know what it's.
Yeah, probably, you say it's too wide for the cars.
Yes, sir.
How about if we, you know,
Rail car?
you're not talking about the railroad
Yes, sir.
car.
We had got some quotes on the rail cars, but it never went through.
I mean, that may be something to look at, instead of spending $540,000, that's up to y'all. I mean, I would look at maybe looking at the rail cars and just see.
How many people are out on that road?
Maybe two or three.
And if it's a 10-minute detour.
But you have a house on the other side of the bridge that had to go through Mississippi to get what they need.
So it's only the house that's on the other side that has to be, there's one house.
Well, I think we're looking at that part of it a little wrong. If there's one house out there, they pay taxes.
That's one to the
Well, I think everyone can have access to their home.
You know, that's wrong. So, you know, if we went to my road, your road, there was something, hey, one house over there, you know, so. we can't do that.
I think all citizens are important to me, to the
Just said that,
interior, all to the
that's what I mean.
Yeah, we
You
don't
know,
want to look
rail
at.
car-
Oh, you do not look on anyone, I promise
The
you.
rail car's about 10 grand, am I not right?
Yes, sir.
10 to 15 grand.
So, if you put 3 in, I mean, that's way cheaper than building a bridge.
I would look at doing that from a financial standpoint. Let Frost know do that, but I hate to bring up the elephant in the room. I bet y'all got 10 or 12 that are closed.
We have,
So, you know,
we have some of the states, we can't go over there.
where do you,
This bridge is
you
not.
know, how much do y'all want to spend and where you determine you want to fix first? And, you know, I'm just asking y'all for some direction.
Yes, sir.
We just looking to the chicken to the.
Yes, sir.
Railroad car.
We'll do rail cars.
Yes, sir.
I mean, that's better than the cars.
Yes, sir. Either it or a prefab common box.
Yeah, either way.
Yes,
We'll
sir.
see. We'll get together tomorrow.
Okay.
You can do it, they try to address these concerns, because
Okay.
it's very important.
Yes, sir.
Because they're not.
All right.
Do we have a priority list of our bridges and how, in what order we're gonna fix them? Or do we have anything that says this bridge really needs to be fixed, then this one, and this one?
Yes, ma'am. We do. We had one for a couple of years. But, you know, we didn't have the equipment or the manpower to do what the bridge required at the time.
Do we have?
No, ma'am.
Some of them, we don't.
Is that not something we can sub out to have done?
Just depends on which way you
I
want to
mean,
spend.
when you want to spend it,
Right. I mean, to get it.
We
how
went
long
through
they-
that, when we worked on the Loop Road Bridge, we went through the same thing.
we live in a world right now where numbers influence people. They try to get the most populated areas to fix it.
I'm quite sure the figures are not the same if they was when I we done that.
And there again, I mean, depends on how up to date y'all want it. You can buy a tract count or not that expensive. And you can look at the number of houses on the road, cars and stuff like that, and do it like that. But what properties, there's 2 or 3, we got something from the state the other day.
Oh,
The ones you s-
those state highway
Yeah.
bridges.
Yeah.
For highway now.
Okay.
So once the state, they close the road, we have to close,
Yeah.
no doubt about it.
Well, for the informational purpose, I'd like to ask at the next meeting, we have a report, so these people will know where they're standing.
Okay.
Okay, no problem.
No problem.
Thank you, Mr. Hill.
No problem.
Before Frosty gets out of here, I know we thanked him last time, but his guys went to Sparta this weekend, and they worked overtime, which Frosty came to me, and I was glad to do it. But they got all the Sparta picked up, and they got one picked up, that Miss Christie wanted picked up. He got about half they picked up today, and I told her they're gonna get the rest of it tomorrow. those guys have worked their tail end
Yeah,
off,
I
getting
agree with
stuff
you.
picked up, so Frosty, thank y'all, thank all the guys.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for your hard work, Mr. Lee. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Let's move on. Community staff report, J committee, I don't have anything. Personnel committee, Chris O'Quinn.
We are going to have a meeting to look at, finishing Mr. Ammon's job description, because we have it just about done, but not completely done. So, we're gonna have that in the next week. Kristen, I need you to maybe give me some dates, and Mike doesn't look like, he will be back yet, so.
Move on. Finance committee, Mr. Kyle Kennedy.
I'd like to make a motion to approve monthly invoices.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Question from the audience, all in favor? And opposed? Motion carries. Anything else, Mr. Wilson?
No, sir.
Public works and equipment, Mr. Jason McCray.
That's one thing. This time, we got any kind of updates from the overlay?
You got pre-con meeting Monday at 10 o'clock. Hey, is it 10 o'clock Monday? The pre-con meeting for the road project, is it 10 o'clock Monday, huh? Yeah. And they will start probably, I would think about a week from then. And do y'all
Send me
want us
an
to put
email or
on?
something to that effect.
Yeah.
Sir.
Do y'all want us to put on the agenda, because you're gonna have to add the parking lot, and you're gonna have to add, what, Mr. Willie?
Do that.
Okay. Remind me probably tomorrow about the CEA agreement with, town for this road out here.
Yes, let me told agreement, I think we should fix it, the excess money we had left over.
Yeah.
We'll fix it for.
Because there's about $400,000 left over, if you guys remember when we opened the bids now. That's what we asked y'all to pick a project that y'all wanted to try to be.
We're gonna work in endeavor with the town of Clinton.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it was, I wanna say, maybe 32 or 38,000.
You told me.
Parking lot, something like that, yeah, the parking lot was in the $30,000 to $40,000 range, but I think y'all, we'll get a price, I think y'all should go ahead and do the whole park
I think so also.
and be done with it.
Yeah, but the part of being, in disarray, the water just got a grant coming, and you can't get the grant until the department.
Okay. That's all I have.
Good. So we will put on there for the next meeting, the parking lot
Yeah.
in Marsh
Market
Road.
Street.
Okay, River Street, okay.
How about the trash truck, if we get that wrong?
Yeah. Yeah, it's all, we almost finalized everything, we make sure the specs were right, it's what the property wanted it. So hopefully it should go out this week or next week. And both trash trucks are fixed right
Yeah,
now.
right now, don't say nothing.
Oh, I know. Every time I say that, Mr. McCray, one of them breaks.
Please don't take it, please. Anything else, Mr. Clinton?
I'm good, that's it. Thank you.
Building property, look it out.
Courthouse was, sophomore, looks
It
very,
looks
very
nice.
nice.
It does a good
Looks
job.
very nice.
Did we get the, chairs replaced that the judge wanted, the air conditioning
They
repaired?
fixed all 8 of them, there was 8 of them that just been, Keith fixed. So that's all taken care of.
Great, thank you.
Anything else? Okay, administrative now. Treasury report come up this month, this week.
The bank accounts are all reconciled to me. It's on our budget information.
Treasury report, yesterday, okay, Homeland Security.
Just one thing to report.
Okay, Mike, take a minute to yourself.
Mike Bailey, also Homeland Security. We only have one thing to report. The 3 pickup starts this week for the parish. The weather permits, hopefully we get started by Wednesday, so we get back there to the site.
How many days is it?
So-
5?
Right.
How many days? That's gonna be when? Anything else, Mr. Taylor? Same zone, will be Tuesday, right? Keep this on the table, comment, Mr. Taylor.
Okay.
Public comment.
Yes, sir. Mr. President.
Please, Mr. Hamani, take the mic, please.
My name is Jim Parker, I'm Jackson, Louisiana.
Mr. Parker, I need to remind you, you have 3 minutes.
I'm only gonna take a minute and a half if y'all let me talk.
You got it.
I was just elected president of the East Feliciana Economic Development District. And I'm here to request from the president, the police jury. We have 2 members from the police jury to be nominated by you guys to send to us. Mr. McKay has been working with us. The other member y'all, you appointed, we haven't seen him in 3 years. So I'm just,
I wasn't aware of that, okay.
well, you're aware of that now, and I'm not gonna say who names, but anyway, just wanna let you know, we're here to support the parish and economic development, and send us 2 members. So,
Yes, sir. We have to.
the next meeting is the 3rd Monday of next month.
We have to have some people do it. We just feel them.
Mr. Parker, you don't have anything else you want to say?
Nope.
You got time.
It would take 2, 3 minutes.
If you do have 2 representatives,
I give my 2 minutes to whoever wants to talk.
When I got elected, I didn't.
we can give a cake with one, we can call them up for 8 in 2 years.
But when I went on it, it was a member of the jury. So who is that now?
Well, the jury, who's the jury representative?
Yeah. But it's my predecessor was the jury representative. When I was on it.
We can give it to who, how we give it.
2 members from the police jury are up here as you appoint.
Right, point.
We'll have one.
What can you see?
Derek, you, okay, just to remind you all, Ms. Kelsey sent out an email last week to remind you all we was having a demo tomorrow, if you can make it, around 9 o'clock for a new. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's a new kind of machine. It's hard to describe it.
Yeah, Mr. Yes, they called me.
I'm going this risk, I'm going. Oh, it's not made like a tractor, it's all-wheel drive, it has a dual attachments, multiple attachments on the front, there's a boom on the side, it's called a Moormax. It'll be at 9 o'clock, the demo will be on Wilson Clinton Road. Because as of yesterday, we down to 1 truck. Thank you.
And the demonstration is gonna be where?
Right here on Wilson Clinton Road.
They met the company at the convention, and called me, I said, give us a gentleman.
And Mr. McCray, for the record, I mentioned nothing about tractor.
All right.
Okay,
How
public
much
comment? Yes, sir.
is this machine?
We don't know yet.
Tomorrow.
But hopefully you have a state contract.
But they will be coming tomorrow.
Yeah.
Public comment?
That's what's taking the trash trucks so long to come to that contract. Not gonna do that.
Public comment? If not, we can't go to the.
Jay, after you talk to Foster, would you let me know if you the progress on that?
Yeah, but just, we're good to be late.